Hare Hare Gange Mahadev Sri Shankara Parvati Pati Mahadev Sri Shankara.
Namaste, it's Sahara Rose, and welcome back to the Highest Self podcast, a place where we discuss what makes you your soul's highest evolvement. We are going through so many shifts, so many changes, so many up levels, and so much deep shadow work. I don't think anyone is the same person as they were a month ago, and this awakening is going to continue to unfold this year, this lifetime. So this is really our opportunity to look at the lessons that we are learning here and see, how is this teaching me? How is this guiding me in my way forward? I believe that nothing is coincidental and everything truly is a synchronicity. All of these experiences that we're having right now are our unique training, our unique schooling, our unique curriculum that our souls signed up for to get us to that next level. So right now, if you are a female visionary, an entrepreneur, a leader, a coach, a healer, a yoga teacher, or you seek to be, this is the time truly for you to rise up. It is more needed than ever before. And I really wanted to create this podcast episode with my mastermind partners, Jenna Phillips-Ballard and Sarah Pendrick, to really speak about what an opportunity it is today to really step up when people need the guidance the most. People are looking for healthy products for the first time. People are Googling how to meditate, how to take care of my emotions. How do I handle my anxiety? For the first time, the things that we've been talking about on this podcast for the past 3 years are becoming the norm. And with this radical awakening that is happening, we are going to need the coaches, the event organizers, the conscious lawyers and doctors, the investment bankers, stay-at-home moms, everyone in between to serve in the unique way that they were meant to serve, because everything is going to shift. People are going to be after deeply emerging from this internal work, they're going to be looking at themselves and their lives in a much deeper and more integrated way. And we need the leaders who are paving that path forward. So I joined forces with my mastermind partners, Jenna and Sarah, to create this podcast episode for you and especially speak into a lot of the fears, a lot of the worries, a lot of the obstacles that many of us are struggling with right now. Again, I don't think anyone is the same as they were last month. We've all had crying moments, freak out moments, panic attack moments, whatever your unique response is. And it all happened to us to test our edges and to really see, okay, now I'm able to carry this much. I'm able to carry so much more than I once believed that I was able to. And this resilience is really pushing us forward into uncharted territory. And that's what we need for growth. If we can look back at any obstacle in our lives, we could see that the breakdown led through the breakthrough. So right now, we might be in the breakdown and preparing ourselves for the breakthrough. So in this episode, we talk about how to overcome many of the fears, many of the concerns that you're having right now, especially as a female entrepreneur. Guilt of selling, guilt of putting yourself out there, fear of rejection, fear of now is not the right time. And we really speak into each and every one of those fears so you could see the truth of what is and the truth that you are needed, that you are being called to rise up, that you are being called to serve your unique soul medicine today more than ever before. So I know that you're going to walk away from this podcast feeling so much more uplifted, ready to play all out, and pretty much ready to light up the world with the unique sun vibration that emits inside of you that may be hiding in the shadows right now. It's time for us to turn that light all the way on. And we also share with you how you can be coached by us in our mastermind. We just kicked off the Together We Impress mastermind. We are taking 10 more participants right now. So this is your opportunity to have weekly small group coaching calls with us, to be part of the mastermind, working with the incredible other souls, the females in here who are truly on every level and in every industry, ready to serve, ready to share what they've learned in the trenches and also bring each other back up. So this mastermind is so near and dear to my heart. It is the only place that I'm actually coaching people and working with them more intimately. So if you love this podcast, you like working with me, then this is your place to do it. So you can learn more about that at togetherweempress.com. Again, that's Together We Empress with an E. I will have that link in the show notes, and I'm so excited to see you there. So without further ado, let's welcome Jenna and Sarah to the Highest Self podcast. Welcome, Sarah and Jenna, to the Highest Self podcast. It's so great to have you ladies back.
Thank you. It's so amazing to be here as always. I love connecting with you and your amazing tribe.
Thank you, Sahara. I'm so excited. I'm especially excited that we're all three on right now.
I know, so fun.
Yes,
so fun.
So much fun. So we are all in our own respective quarantines, but we really wanted to talk about, the opportunity that is in this moment. So that's why we're like, we need to get on there because so many of you guys reached out to us after we did our podcast episodes and said, this is what I want. I want more of this. And right now I know a lot of people are feeling the fear and feeling the hesitation and feeling the doubt. So we really wanted to speak to exactly what you're feeling right now to bring you back up and show you that abundance is all around you right now and allow you to see that this is not only not a bad time to focus on your business, but the best time to focus on your business. So yay. Thank you ladies for being on. So I want to take some, common questions that I see people asking right now. So Jenna, you work a lot with mindset. A lot of people right now are feeling like, who am I to be selling? The economy is crippling. No one's going to want my service and product. I might as well call it quits. How can we get over that block?
Well, first of all, I love that question. Second of all, what I really want every single one of you to know is that we collectively have the power to shift the economy in the direction that we want. The reason why people are in this space is because of fear. So people stopped, they froze, they're afraid, and people are not spending money. I know that there are other ways people literally cannot spend money because the restaurant is closed or like the services business is shifting in a way, but this is an opportunity to create something new from a brand new space. And, I know that you all have seen the memes kind of floating around talking about the companies, the organizations, the empires, the multi-billion-dollar industries that have been caused and created. And these companies have been created as a result, as a response to experiences similar to this in the past. And if no one spends money, then nothing is going to be of the economy. And so this is really being in the healthy mindset and the healthy practice of still spending money and also knowing that there's more than enough to go around, like choosing that. And I know that it's really, really challenging to have that mindset in spite of everything that you're seeing on the news and everything that you're seeing all over social media, all over media. So this is the time to actually practice having an abundant mindset. Being abundant is not based upon how much stuff you have. And I think that that's really what's available in all of this, is that this is an opportunity for us to remember what actually matters, so that we're spending money on things of high value. We're investing in ourselves. We are also being really mindful of the way that we circulate money, because that at the end of the day is really up to us. And I do believe that the whole relationship with money is drastically going to shift after this. And what I see possible for every single one of us is that we practice knowing that no matter what is happening, no matter what the economy looks like, no matter what, that there is actually more than enough to go around. It does exist. It is out there. And if you're wondering, like, where's the money going to come from? Well, it's going to come from wherever it is right now, because the money hasn't disappeared. I mean, it's still in the universe. It's just shifted. And so as a response to that, we all get to shift and be in the practice and know that this is actually the time to look within and see who you get to be to shift into what's next, because this is the turn of an era.
So beautifully said. And Sarah, how have you, because you are someone that really puts together community. And I think a lot of people right now are feeling like, how can I host my event? How can I bring my community together when everyone is quarantined? How do you think we can overcome this block?
Yeah. And I want to speak into what Jenna just said. That was so beautiful, because it's like, what do we do all the inner work for? And everything that we're up to, it matters in these times. So if you're having an abundance mindset, if you're going to go invest in yourself, there's no reason that would change now. If anything, you know how important that is, because your mission and the impact that you want to make in the world doesn't change. It should never be altered just because of something that's going on that's completely out of your control. So that was amazing. I was like getting chills thinking about that. and just stepping into my purpose even more and even bigger. But when it comes to community, what you said, Sahara, is this is when people need it the most right now. Even though we can't necessarily be together in person, we still thrive in community. And there's so many beautiful ways that we could step in and step up right now to create the communities that we wish that we had right now, whether it's Zoom or Facebook groups or FaceTime. I think that every single person on this planet has a platform and they could use it right now within their family, within their friends, with reaching out to people and leaders that they've always wanted to connect with and learn from. So if anything, community is needed even more so, and we get to step into that stronger than we ever have before.
Absolutely. Both of you so beautifully said. And I saw the exact same thing with events. So, for example, someone I know who makes their living off of live events actually, for the very first time, took their event online and is making more money now with their online event, which is more accessible to people because it's less than the in-person event. People don't have to fly, take time off work, leave their kids behind, which a lot of us don't think of is really hard for the majority of people. So they're actually able to help more people, reach more people, and make more money off of their event. So this actually had a beautiful silver lining for them. And my husband, who works in music festivals, all festivals are shut down. And at first they were like, shit, what are we going to do? Like, there's no more Coachella, there's no more Ultra. But now they are live streaming their festivals and will literally have 100,000 people be watching this live stream of them performing at their house at once, which is bigger than any crowd at any festival. So I think if we look at it from this abundance mindset, again, we see that there's more opportunity available for us than ever before.
Absolutely. I actually had people DM me and be like, now I can come to your event. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, well, I live in X country, or I usually cannot travel because I have, I work a 9 to 5, or I have a job, or I have XYZ. And I'm like, oh, that's such an amazing point that we all can look at things as an opportunity right now and build our community and have even more people involved that might not usually had access to what we're creating.
So true. I mean, we even saw that in our mastermind, which we'll talk about later, but being able to start earlier and getting everyone on track and them saying like, this is exactly the same kind of experience, almost the same as I would have had in person. So it's kind of like a lot of us have been thinking about, taking things online. How can I automate things? How can I reach more people? And this is really calling us to take action on it today.
Absolutely. And something that I'm really excited about is the opportunity for everyone to really deepen the way that they communicate, because we as people, like, we really thrive from human touch and physical touch and human connection. And because we don't have that ability, that luxury right now, who we get to be when we are speaking on the phone, we get to be present, we get to be grounded, be in a space of acknowledgement and not being distracted, like really, really having each opportunity to connect with people be ever more authentic and beautiful and open. And so I really see, even though we can't physically be together, is that I see this deepening in human connection. Because how many times have you been to a restaurant and you look around and you see 4 people at a table and they're all on their phones? And I'm sure that like we've all been guilty of that at one point or another. And just this is the state of our society right now. And I think that we collectively have been feeling that's not working. I mean, the old way of doing life, I believe, has really just come to a screeching halt. And we now have the opportunity to be a part of the conversation that's going to generate a massive transformation for our planet and for our world and for humanity. And so that's what I feel that we're coming into. And so let that be exciting. And knowing that we have that opportunity and knowing what's available for us as people, as a species, as a tribe, like the sense of oneness, because we are actually all in this together. We're all going through it together at the same time. And when we really realize our capacity to shift the collective consciousness, then we're not going to be in fear. So for those of you listening right now, if you're currently experiencing fear or you're afraid of something in the future that hasn't yet happened, you're giving your power away to something that isn't even real. So just know that you have the ability to get really super clear, really grounded, and be mindful of the thoughts that you have, be mindful of the vibration you're putting out into the universe. Because if you allow yourself to be sucked into the fear and go along with the agenda of the media, which is basically like, I mean, it's working. Everyone's terrified and buying all the freaking toilet paper for no apparent reason. Like nobody even knows why. Like, I don't know who started that, but like, that's the thing, So everyone's like, oh my God, I have to get all the toilet paper. So that's just the power of media. So be your own media and prescribe to the conversation that you want to be a part of and be in co-creation of that.
So true.
Absolutely. And don't be in the scarcity and use us as an excuse as to why you can't thrive out of this. Like
Yeah.
use it as an opportunity and to really let your true self shine right now. Like, are you going to be in scarcity or are you going to be in abundance? What decisions, what choices are you going to make?
Yes, and what perspectives are you surrounding yourself with? Because we're so lucky. We're always part of masterminds. We're always part of, entrepreneurial conscious communities. So we're actually seeing a lot of our friends, their businesses thriving right now, doing better than they ever have before, because they are aware of what people need, because they are pivoting, because they are catering to people's concerns. So I want to talk a little bit about this, because a lot of our listeners are entrepreneurs, they're coaches, they're healers, they have products. And right now they're a little bit confused. They feel guilty about marketing and they don't really know how to position your product. So I want to talk a little bit about what pivots should we make in our marketing right now?
Powerful question. I think that the biggest thing is really coming from a space of humility, not pretending to know what you think that your people need. I mean, really be in the question, be in the co-creation with them, be in the experience with them, be in the trenches with them. And I think that the biggest thing for everybody who is following you, and this is for all of your listeners, Sahara, everyone who's following you right now, like they're following you for a reason. They're not following you because they want to just look at you sitting on top of the mountain and you shouting out orders about how to get there. Like, no, like they want to be in the trenches with you. They want to feel like they have somebody to lean on. And so for you to really come from the space of humanness and humility, like, hey, like I totally get that this may be something that you're afraid of or that you're in it. Like I'm in it with you. I've had this experience and this is what I'm committed to. I'm committed to being a part of the next era, the next generation, like the next phase of humanity, and really speak into that. So I think that the biggest thing is what's not going to translate is if you're in the mindset of scarcity and fear and then selling from that place, like you're offering a product because you're afraid, because you're in total scarcity, that's not going to translate. Your people are going to pick up on it. They're going to smell it from a mile away. And you get to really get grounded in your why. Why are you offering? What is your purpose? What's the reason for offering what you want to provide for your people who are following you? Because this is a time where people need guidance, they need coaching, they need support, they need love, they need encouragement, they need inspiration. They need to have that sounding board of where they get to go and what they get to offer. And this is the time where people need more support than ever before. So just know that what you get to provide is continued value while you're being mindful of the space you're offering it from.
So well said.
I was going to say the same thing. Like, gone are the days of pretending to know the answer. It is okay to say, hey, this is something that I've never had happen before. Let's figure it out together. Right now, speaking of community, our community gets to come together like never before and just really, really lead with honesty. Like, hey guys, what is it that you need from me right now? How can I support you? Or this is something that I want to offer you because I know it will be so supportive in this time. Like I see so many people rushing to create out of scarcity and out of, oh, well, now I have to recreate an online program just because. Like, watch where you're creating from and step up into use this opportunity and this time to connect even deeper with your audience and really, really build trust and value.
So well said. And I think that, when this situation first began unfolding, a lot of us went into fight or flight. We went into kind of chicken with their head cut off, like running around. I mean, everyone was going on live. Everyone was putting tons of free content and it was beautiful until I think it got a bit overwhelming for people that everyone is, I'm doing this workshop and this webinar and this, and people right now, I think we thought that we would get bored. And now it's sort of like the opposite of like practicing discernment of where to put my energy right now and really using this time wisely, which is a huge conversation happening right now because there's kind of, I feel like two schools of thoughts. That one school of thought that's like, just take this time to mourn, take this time to grieve, take this time, feel the sadness, feel the waves, like feel it all. And then this other school of thought that's like, take this time to write your novel, take this time to write your business plan, to get your ideas off the ground. So I'd love to kind of hear because it's both, right? It's not one or the other. We got to feel our emotions and we got to take action. So I'd love to hear how both of you guys are doing this dance. So Jenna, we can start with you.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, it's so interesting because I'm in the process of having my finger on the pulse of 3 different businesses. So I've been managing a lot, which has been amazing. And it's in my capacity. I have a big plate. Like I can hold space for a lot. That's kind of my wheelhouse. That's something that I'm really skilled at. And so, what has also come along with that is the conversation of, wow, I really want to be at home more with my son. And I've been in the training room. I mean, the training room, we offer a lot of personal development seminars and workshops. And so, I've been in the training arena really a lot, specifically over the last few months. And I've really been feeling this heartstring tug that I really want to also create this space to be at home with my son more. Meanwhile, I have a lot of things that I get to be responsible for at this time. So I was looking at that kind of down the road. I'm like, okay, by this month, I'm going to make sure that I can spend X amount of time, that I have this kind of support, that, all the things. And so I've been consistently thinking about that. Like I want to be at home more with my son. I want to be able to work more from home. And so I do both. I do that. And I also am on the field a lot. So it's just interesting that I've basically have manifested the opportunity to be at home with my son a lot more. And so what I want to say to that is, for every single one of you, rather than feel like this is happening to you, know that it's happening for you, that in some capacity you asked for it, you manifested it. You either wanted more time to read more often, or write a book, or really dive in and pull apart your business plan and create a brand new vision from a brand new place, a brand new space. For those of you who've been in your 9 to 5 and you hate it, you hate clocking in, you hate clocking out, you hate sitting at the cubicle, and you've been like, gosh, when is it just going to be over? You've manifested this. So I think that we as a society have really been calling in this experience for a variety of reasons, and we get to be in ownership of that. When you own that, then you can be in the space of gratitude for having this current experience, so that you can utilize this time from a place of awareness and value, that you're actually taking this time to have your energy be guided in the direction of how you actually want to use it. So for those of you who are you're in like the victim conversation, or you're like, this is happening to me, this is the worst timing, whatever that conversation is, if that is your frequency, you're going to waste a lot of time. So just know that you can't get this time back. I mean, this is an incredible time to be alive. This is an incredible time to be in co-creation, an amazing time to really think about what you get to cause next and what the next phase of your life is going to look like. Because I can guarantee that none of us will be the same after this. We're all going to have a life before and after COVID-19. We're all going to have a life before and after the coronavirus and the thing that happened. And I know that every single one of us can remember the time and place that we were when everything shifted. We're like, because all 3 of us were like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's just whatever. I'm not afraid of the virus, and I'm still not afraid of it. And like, there was a moment where I'm like, wow, this is different. Okay. Like and here we go. Like, here we grow. So,
Yes.
we just get to be an ownership.
Here we grow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I would say, so for me, I had a dream. We were 1 week into quarantine, and I had a dream that it was all over. But the part, which was amazing, but the part that was like what quote unquote a bad dream, was that I didn't take that time in quarantine to give myself what I needed. So it was really crazy, because I woke up and I had this like very regretful feeling. And I'm like, what is this about? I want to dive into this. That I have also manifested this in some way, whether it's complaining that I'm so busy or whatever it is. I just realized, like, I really want to take this opportunity and give myself what I have been needing. And that might look different every day. The first week, I was so like inspired, and I'm like, hey, I just got my book deal. I want to write. Like, this is perfect for all those things. How am I going to look at this as an opportunity? And then the next week, things were sinking in a little bit more. And I'm not buying into fear and scarcity, but I was like, wow, like my body feels a little bit like, hey, you've been busy for a while, and you're so busy because you love what you do. You love what you're creating, but I'm going to spend these 2 days off of my phone and to chill. So instead of, comparing myself online and scrolling through all the things, or people are like, I'm doing this and I'm writing this and blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that dream as a message and give myself these 2 days, and then get back to what lights me up. So I think it's just giving yourself that permission, and when it's an excuse or when it's not an excuse, or when you're being lazy, for lack of a better word. you know to just give yourself exactly what you need during this time, and that it's going to look different every day or it's going to look different every week. But one thing that's consistent that I'm doing is when I wake up every day, I am asking myself, where's the opportunity?
I love that. And I can completely relate. I think we've all gone through so many waves and so many shadows have been revealed to us that honestly may have taken us like 20 plus years or lifetimes to find. And right now, in a matter of weeks, we're like on the accelerated speed track program and everything's showing up for us. So yeah, like at first I was like woman on a mission, like lives every day. Anyone who wants to do a live with me, I'll be there. And like so much. And then I realized, like 2 weeks into doing that, I'm like, this is not sustainable. And also, this isn't like, I feel like we thought like, okay, it's just going to be 2 weeks and then like everything's just going to go back to normal and it's going to be a new normal. And we don't know how long that's going to be. So having like pacing ourselves. And I think for me also, again, coming back to that discernment of, do I want to take in all of this random content or do I want to focus on what I actually really need right now for myself to take me to the next level? So, and this could look different for anyone. Like if you're trying to write a book, like focus on actually writing that book. Or if you're trying to start your business or whatever it is, to actually just focus on that thing, because we could get so lost into everyone's ideas and offerings and this and that. But if they're not in alignment with what we really need, and also I think a lot of us, we just download everything for free on the internet. We're just like, here, I'll take this free content and this free, but we're not actually taking action and doing anything about it. So for me, like, I've had my book edits due. Okay, let me really focus on that. Let me really focus on the things that I may have been too busy for, so I could use this time wisely, which, I think we should always be using our time wisely. But for me, that makes me feel better. Like it helps me to have a goal because it takes me out of like essentially a fear spiral that I could potentially be in. Whereas some people, maybe they don't really need a goal right now. Maybe they need to be in it. But I do think that there's something so beautiful about like, even for everyone listening to a podcast right now, of like getting out of your own story, listening to something else that lifts you up, and then coming back and seeing the world from a new perspective.
So powerful. And yes, girl, so aligned with everything you just said, with both of you, with everything that you both just said. And this is really just a reminder, such an incredible time to practice pivoting. Because if you really want to look at what it means to be an entrepreneur, you can't be attached to anything. You got to be open. You get to really be, of course, committed to the outcome and where you're going, what your vision is, while also being fully present to the ability that in a moment, everything can shift and everything can change. And so, I'm really in a really fun opportunity kind of space. Like it feels like such an amazing opportunity because we're bringing our transformational workshops, our in-person workshops online, which is an unprecedented thing. The story that I always used to make up was you can't have a transformational experience online, but I've realized in the last couple of weeks, because I've facilitated multiple transformational experiences online with my students, that it absolutely is possible. If you got to just first, you must believe it if you want to see it. So for those of you who are like, well, there's no way that I can create the same kind of results and experiences online, be open to it looking a different way. And don't be attached to it looking a specific way. If you really, really want to create value, be open to the possibility of having it be brand new.
I love that. And I think it's also going to just change our relationship with how we behave online. Like we're going to take these things more seriously, maybe before we didn't. But now that, 1 billion kids are out of school and being homeschooled on their computers right now, we're going to take like, okay, this is actual education and learning and transformation. I'm not going to be like, multitasking while I'm on a call. I'm actually, like you said, fully going to be present because this is the experience that we get to have. And I think for a lot of people too, they've realized like how much time they were wasting, going to random meetings with a bunch of small talk or driving around town, doing this and doing that, and actually kind of like 4-hour work weeking their lives and just being so much more effective with how they're doing things, which is actually, I've heard of businesses like huge businesses with 80,000 employees that had issues that would have taken them normally 6 months to solve are now taking them 4 days because people are just on it. They are paying attention to things and they're actually able to collaborate more effectively because they're in their own comfortable home spaces without, the office tension or being somewhere else, et cetera. So I think it's actually making us so much more effective with our time.
100%.
I know this episode is good, but so is this sponsor. A lot of us don't feel comfortable going to supermarkets right now, and cafes are closed, which means we aren't picking up green juices or even buying fresh produce as often. But right now, it is more important than ever before to keep our immune systems high, especially with greens and superfoods. I've been drinking Organifi Green every single day, and it's been a goddess send. It contains immune-boosting ingredients like moringa, chlorella, spirulina, wheatgrass, ashwagandha, turmeric, lemon, mint, and so much more. It takes only 1 minute to add into my water, and I feel so good knowing that at least I got my greens in for that day, which frankly I may not have had otherwise. I've also sent it to my family members to keep them healthy at this time too. You can receive 20% off your Organifi at Organifi.com using coupon code Sahara. Again, that's Organifi, ORGANIFI.com using coupon code Sahara, and that link is in the show notes.
The thing that I don't want to see anyone doing is using this as an excuse, like, oh, well, now I can't start that business, or now I can't do this. It's like, absolutely, now is the time, because you get to pivot into the direction that the world is going and come out thriving, not just surviving. You're going to be thriving. So for I've seen some people, not a lot, because I think that I know we really support our communities, but I've seen some people online just being like, using this as an excuse. And this is not the time to use it as an excuse. This is the time to rise up and really step into, whether it's not you had a 9 to 5 and you hated it, like we just talked about, and you wanted to step in to create something of your own. Don't use this as an excuse. Use this now as an opportunity. Or, you are really, really getting somewhere in your brand. Or for us, we all have several businesses. It's like, this isn't the time for us to stop. This is the time for us to pivot and thrive and add more value. And then us three, and I'm sure so many of the women listening and people listening, like, we have big hearts, we have big missions, we want to make big impact. And this is actually an opportunity to reach people that we may have never been able to connect with, and use this opportunity online to further our missions and make a bigger impact in the world.
So well said. And I think so many people are also just going to open up to receiving it. So I want to talk a bit about just the coaching business, because a lot of listeners are coaches, or like fitness professionals, et cetera, kind of like service jobs. And I feel like a lot of them right now are feeling like, well, what if my clients can no longer pay for my sessions? But actually, we want to talk about how right now, because both of you work in that space, how people are needing coaching now than ever before. And this is actually about to be the big booming of the coaching industry.
Yeah, well, I was mentioning this just a little bit ago, that this is a time to really get creative and pivot and practice pivoting. And this is going to be, here's what I will say, because this is real. Some of you may not want to hear it, but for those of you who get this, will be really excited to hear it, is that this experience will create, I believe, a bit of a divide, because I believe that there will be a handful of people who are going to be able to navigate through this. And by the handful, I mean, like, the 1%, the 2% of people who are really committed to leadership and growing through and choosing to rise above, because it really is a choice. This is not something that's happening that's outside of your control. I just really want you guys to hear that, because the choosing that you have about your mindset right now will completely pave the path for the rest of your life. This is how you're going to set the trajectory for the rest of your life, based upon the beliefs that you choose to have about what's happening right now and how you choose to navigate through it and pivot and all of that. So be open to receiving support, be open to receiving guidance, be open to being in alignment with people who are operating on that frequency. And also know that there are a million ways. There are a million ways to make money. There are a million ways to generate, attract, cause, experience, and be in the environment of money. You just get to be open to that and decide that, because if you're having these downward spiral thoughts or these tailspin thoughts, like they're kind of spiraling out, and you're totally focusing on the fear or lack or scarcity or whatever the conversation is, just know that you are absolutely prescribing to that vibration, that belief system, and you're setting the trajectory for the rest of your life. So be mindful of the thoughts that you choose, and be open for the sake of being open, because when you open up, you're allowing the vibration, the frequency to meet you there. And if you want to have an abundant life, be generous. If you want to date a 10, be a 10. So we don't attract what we want, we attract what we are. So be mindful of the thoughts that you have if you want to live through this and not just live through it, but thrive through it and have this be a part of your story. Because there will be people who will be able to talk about this, how they powerfully moved through it. It's a part of your hero story. It's a part of whatever you're going to speak about on stage in the future, in next year or 2 years from now, when you talk about how you navigated through this, how you're going to be teaching others how to also persevere and be resilient during times like these. So just know that it's all a part of it.
So true. And I always like to say, this is just because I remember when I was going through my breakdown moment, 7 years ago, which I end up speaking about the most because that's the moment that defined me. When I was going through it, I would tell myself, you know what, this is just the shitty part of your memoir. This is the shitty part of your memoir. And this is the part that everything's going to change. And right now we're in, not a shitty part necessarily, but we're in a transformative part. We're in a part that people are at the edge of their seats. And this is really when we, the rubber band goes backwards and how are we going to catapult forwards? And we get to decide this right now. And I think we're just in this incubator. We are in this incubator that we're really sitting in that's like preparing us, that's elevating us, that's expanding us for what is to come. But if we sit in that incubator and say, I'm never going to get out of this, this sucks, I'm going to be in the cocoon forever, I don't believe I'm ever going to turn into a butterfly, then guess what? When the cocoon is gone, your wings are not going to expand. So if we can trust that at any point in our lives, when we have had a difficult and challenging moment, that it not only did we get through it, but it made us 10 times better, then we can trust that this experience is just pulling our rubber band back even more than we even knew was imaginable. It's increasing our emotional intelligence. It's increasing our ability to persevere. It's increasing our ability to trust in a way that, we could have read it, we could have done some affirmations on it, but like we are in it right now. So are you going to trust that this is going to push me forward? Or are you going to basically throw everything that you've stood for to the side and believe that this isn't here to serve you in the way that you truly deep down inside know it is?
Yes. And I think that is such a testament to what we're saying right now. It's like, everyone listening right now can make a powerful choice to step into this as a leader, as an opportunity, as this is the time. Like this is what you've been training for. And this is where you get to show up most powerfully as your highest self. And it's just a testament as to us three, like, these are the conversations that we're having together weekly. These are the conversations that we're having with our women in our mastermind. These are the conversations that we're having with our mentors. So of course we get to show up powerfully. And that is why people need mentors and masterminds and groups more than ever, because if you're listening to us right now, we get to still thrive through because we're surrounding ourselves with people that are believers and that are going to lift us up and are going to share with each other. Like, I just found this opportunity. This is what I'm doing for my business. This is what I'm doing to pivot. And so right now you also get to make the choice to surround yourself, even on Zoom. And now is the most important time to surround yourself with people that match who your highest self is.
So well said. And I think everyone who's listening right now can feel like, okay, yes, I know that to be true, but it's so easy, when we're surrounded by the fear story, it's so easy to give into it. It's so easy to, convince ourselves that that's real, because when we actually own up to how powerful we are, there's a bit of a responsibility that comes with that. There's a bit of, oh shit, I am a creatrix of my entire reality. So what am I here to create? So can you speak into, I think a lot of people right now are sitting a bit on the sidelines. They're sitting a bit on the sidelines of their own lives. They're waiting for something to happen to them that's going to push them forward. They're feeling like, now is not the time. Now is not the time. Can you speak into how to overcome that and see that not only is there not a time, but if there ever was to be a time, it would be right now. So can you speak into that, Jenna?
Yes. Oh my goodness, please. So waiting for life to happen to you or for you. I just want you to know, like, you're what happens to life. You are what happens for life. You are the cause. You are the source. You are the absolute starting point from everything that you've experienced in your life. Like, you are the source of it all. And when you realize that you're the source, and you realize that you're the cause, and you realize that you are in co-creation with the universe of all of it, then you have your power. So for those of you who are waiting, you are selling yourself this idea that you don't have the power to cause or create or generate what you want. So get your butt in action. Like, let's go. Yes, we get to be in the practice of feminine grace and receiving and allowing and trusting and all of that. And it's also vital for you to tap into that healthy masculine energy that gets shit done. So really learning how to have that balance and know that, like, yes, you get to trust the timing of the universe. You get to trust the process. You get to trust the plan. You get to all of those things. And you are a part of the plan. So for those of you who are just sitting around and waiting and then trying to be right, like, this is your ego is enrolling you into the belief that you don't have the power to cause or change or shift your current experience. And that's not true. You get to be the master of your thoughts. You are the author of your own life. And if you keep sitting around and you keep waiting for something to shift, for you to be able to be quote unquote safe, to do whatever, to invest, to buy, to enroll, to whatever that looks like for you, then you do not, A, you don't have your power. B, you're telling the universe and putting out the frequency that you don't have the capacity to change anything. And so then therefore nothing will change. And the very thing that you're being afraid of will actually happen. So be in committed action to shift your current experience, and not from a place of fear, or not from force, but from power, from empowerment, from inspiration, from co-creation. So there's an amazing book called Power versus Force. And you don't even need to read the book. I mean, it's all in the title. Like, literally just think about the title, Power versus Force. So are you coming from a place of empowerment and inspiration, or are you trying to force something into existence? Trust the timing of the universe while you also be in committed action.
So well said. And I got to check out that book.
Yeah. I'm like, woo, okay. I know you said we don't have to read it, but I'm going to anyways.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think, like I said earlier, like, don't use this as an excuse, because if you are waiting to step into your power, if you're waiting to create what it is that's on your heart, you would be waiting whether or not of whatever is going on right now. So now make a powerful choice to step up and rise up during a time that's challenging, that so many people are choosing, to live in the scarcity of it rather than live in the abundance and the opportunity of it. And I'm not saying that in a sensitive way. Like, you have a choice. You get to step up right now, or you can just use this as an excuse to not make your dreams come true.
Yes. And I really want people, like, whatever their business is in, because we have so many different types of business in our mastermind, and we're actually able to see how in each business, though they seem different, there's actually a higher demand, because there's a higher demand for consciousness. So whether you are a meditation teacher, there is way more need for meditation now than ever before. Or if you have an organic product right now, like, that is what people are looking up. People who've never even heard the word organic before are finally now being like, oh my God, how can I boost my immune system? How can I be healthier? From marijuana companies and stuff, a lot of people have stress. Like, every single product, company, service right now that is actually bettering people's lives is more needed than ever before, because before we were kind of too busy as a society, as a collective, to really care about that stuff. And for the first time, we're seeing that, I'm at home with my mind and my body, and maybe I haven't been treating those two things the way that I should have. So there's such a demand for coaches, for services, for anything that is in bettering people's lives right now. And if you don't offer it, then you are actually holding people back from something that they deeply need. So I think a lot of us have to get out of our own ways and realize that, no, actually that idea was gifted to you to give out to the rest of the world. And if you keep it to yourself, especially at a time like this, you're doing a disservice to the entire planet.
100%. Like, all of those businesses and all of those things that you just mentioned, like, people are craving and needing and looking for that. And then even if you have a brand that doesn't incorporate those things and you've always wanted to, now's the time to incorporate it, or think of what else can I add to my brand? Not just pivot, but like, what else could I add to my business or my brand to make things fresh, make things fun? Think about what people are looking for right now. And get creative, have fun with it. Do not just give up and throw in the towel and use an excuse. Like, now more than ever, we need women leaders. We have been. We always talk about this. This is part of the reason that we have Together We Impress for women empires. But right now, more than ever, like, I truly believe that women get to change the world. And so we as women can come together right now and have this be our story. Have this be the time that we actually rose up and stepped into our feminine and our masculine and received and took action.
Super powerful. Love it. Love
Yes.
it.
And I think even for us, like, sometimes we feel like the taking action is masculine, even like opening up the view of like feminine power is fierce. Feminine power is powerful. It's the creator of all life. So the most feminine thing that you can really do is to get your message out there, is to be an independently fierce woman. That does not mean you don't need no man. That does not mean that you do everything alone unsupported. But what that does mean is you essentially, stop letting other people dictate your life. I think we're all done. I think that paradigm of letting someone else dictate your life is done. It needed to come to, like you said, a screeching halt, because if it didn't, like in Vedic spirituality, we say that if you don't listen, the laws of karma begin with a tap. It taps you, taps you, taps you. You don't pay attention. And then it turns into a push. You don't pay attention. It turns into a punch. You don't pay attention. It turns into essentially a collision, an accident, which Jenna, you like literally experienced in physical form. But like as a collective right now, we weren't paying attention to the signs that so many things were off, that were off track, that were not resonating true for us, but we were just kind of too busy doing the rat race to do it. So right now in this new world that is not going to look like what it did before, just like we had a pre 9/11 and post 9/11 world, we're going to have a pre and a post coronavirus world. And what is waiting for us is going to be so much better when conscious leaders, like people listening to this podcast right now, rise up. So I think it's really easy for us to wait for someone else to do it, for someone else. Oh, well, Jenna, Sahara, and Sarah right now they're doing it. No, we need you, because you are going to be reaching a different community than we are. You are going to be activating the people who know you, who resonate with you. So whether you are a lawyer or a doctor or a hairstylist or whatever it is, you have a voice and you have a message. And right now you are being asked more than ever before to share it.
Yes. Like powerfully step into your purpose, powerfully decide that you are not going to let anything take your power anymore.
Yes. So we are obviously so passionate about this. We have been, talking about this, as Sarah said, for a while now. And actually, we created a mastermind opportunity to take some women to the next level with our mentorship, with a group of incredible, high vibrational, powerful female entrepreneurs. And we've actually just opened up a couple more spots right now, because we really felt the call from so many people saying, back then I didn't feel like I was ready, and now I see I'm ready. So we really wanted to open it back up, especially because now we're going to be doing a lot of stuff virtually. So you could be anywhere in the world and participating. So Sarah, tell them about our mastermind.
Oh my gosh. Every time we talk about it, it gives me so many chills. I'm obsessed with what we're doing. I'm obsessed with the women that are involved. Not only do we get to rise up together, like we said, like we're not surviving during this time, we're thriving, and we're thriving for the years to come. Like women, conscious leaders, like we are calling you. This is your time. Not only is this group so incredibly supportive, but we really, really get to make a difference and just rise up together. Like we have so much value in this. Of course, we give you all the tools of like what to do, how to pivot, all the things, but more importantly, to really, really rise up and make magic in millions, as we say, as yourself, as this opportunity right now is calling for you to powerfully step into who you are, who you are meant to be, the impact that you are here to create. And those are the type of women that are in our group. And I'm so excited to serve them. And really, really, this is a family.
It does feel like a family. It really does. It feels like a sisterhood, like this army of thought leaders, women who are committed to transforming the world in their own unique, special way. And so something that Sahara and Sarah and I know, we've talked about, is as much as we all want to change the world, we all want the world to shift into a positive direction. And we also know that we're not going to sit here and pretend like we can change the world by ourselves. And if you really actually want to change the world, how you get to do that in the most powerful way is by influencing as many leaders as possible to also change the world in their own unique, special way. And I want you to all think about this. I want you to think about a world filled with women who are empowered, worthy, confident, clear, abundant, maniac on a mission, living their dream life, living their vision, living their purpose, and empowering other women to also be that. Just think about what that would do for the world. So that's the level of responsibility that we've chosen to take upon ourselves. And we also know that the old way of doing business, the unhealthy masculine, I know that I was speaking into the power of the masculine before. I'm not talking about masculine, period. I'm talking about healthy, guided, focused masculine energy, because what's no longer working is the unhealthy, misguided, explosive toxic energy that also is at the root of scarcity and trying to take clients from people in your field, trying to one up the people that you're in competition with, because that's over. I mean, that's the old way of doing business. And so the three of us are super clear and super grounded. We're clear about and super grounded in what we want to be the example of. Because if you actually want to change the world, then be the example of what you want to see. So we are joining forces, coming together, being totally like the wind beneath each other's wings, fanning each other's flames. Like I want Sahara to win. I want Sarah to win. Like I'm so excited when I hear about their wins. Like when I saw Sahara on the cover of that magazine, I was like, go girl, like took a picture of it, sent it to her, and everything that Sarah's up to. Like I love seeing you win, both of you. And that's an indicator to me that we're onto something really powerful and that we are the source of what's possible for the world. The future is woman. So if you're ready to actually lead, and this is for all of you listening, if you're ready to lead, if you're ready to live your life in a way that you've never lived it before, by being guided, by being coached, by being supported, and having your flames be fanned, just know that that's what we're committed to.
I love that. And I think what our mastermind has really created is a group of women who are just at bat for each other. They are there to support each other. They are there for each other's highs and lows. And that's really what makes a business thrive and what doesn't. I think the reason why so many businesses fail is when they go through difficult moments, they think it's the end. They think it's over. They're going through periods like this and they're like, I guess that's it. And they're not around people who can guide them through and help them see the light at the end of the tunnel, this light that is brighter than what has ever existed for them before. And that's really what a mastermind creates, especially a mastermind like this, because we've all been part of masterminds, but it wasn't necessarily all females to begin with. And on top of that, all being females, but all being really heart-centered, all really being here for the embetterment of humanity, all being really here to shift consciousness, to be the change, to be that leader. And it is really rare to see a group of women completely committed to doing that and also committed to being that change, committed to, maybe learning about the tech side of a business, not like technology, but like maybe it's your sales funnels or learning about this and actually excited about that because it's going to help get your mission and your business to the next level. So what we've really done in Together We Impress is kind of combine the best between all worlds. So, the business stuff that you would get in a more masculine type mastermind, like we love talking about this stuff, how to deal with sales, how to get clients, how to do all of these things, but really the heart, the spirit, the connection, your why, we've actually started a month earlier. So we were already started. There's so much content available for you. And one of the things I'm speaking about with the girls tomorrow is being very clear on your Dharma right now, because a lot of people are for the first time asking themselves, why was I even running this business? Why was I even working this job? So being really clear and redefining from the root up of why am I doing this? Because then your systems, the way you show up, everything you do is going to be different. So there's frankly no mastermind in the world out there that combines these, different schools of thought, that has 3 leaders, 3 spiritual 7-figure female entrepreneurs committed to serving you, plus the network that we're in, like all of the people who maybe you guys have seen that we're connecting with or learning from, et cetera, are going to be guest teachers. So on top of the 3 of us, you have our guest teachers. We have incredible online and in-person experiences that we have available for you guys. And it's like a conscious incubator. Like I have no other words for it. Like the people who do this are going to come out of 2020 at such a different frequency than the rest of the world. The rest of the world is probably going to be like, we're already seeing the memes. Like, I want a refund on 2020. What the hell was that shit? Like, I hate 2020. And the people who do Together We Impress are going to come out of 2020 like, whoa, that was the most transformative year ever. And thank God I said yes to signing up for myself, for embettering myself, because had I not, I would be years behind where I am now. And I just want to give some examples of Mind Body Green was created after the, 9/11. He lost his job from working in finance. And then Jason created Mind Body Green. Same with Vision creating Mind Valley, which are 2 incredible companies literally shifting humanity. Uber was created after the 2008 recession. Airbnb was created after it. Pinterest was created. So many things that we, take as, I don't know, it's probably always been there. Well, it actually hasn't. Someone thought up of it. Someone thought up of something that would make the world better and took action and did it. And we are waiting right now for you to be that person. It could be as big as Uber. It could be as small as just getting your homemade croissants out there, whatever it is that you have been calling to do right now. The world is waiting. We are literally sitting at the edge of our seats, like, who's going to step up? And if you're hearing this, if you're activated, if you can feel it in your DNA, like, yes, this is why I was born. This is why I'm here to serve. I know that 2020 is my initiation into my highest purpose. Then you got to join us, girl, because we have so much good juju waiting for you.
I'm like, take me to church, girl. Take me to church.
You have 50 women that literally have your back through the scariest time or the most exciting time where you're creating, when you're pivoting, when you're stepping into your purpose. You have 50 women. Those are the type of women that we're carefully and intentionally creating this room. Like, you show up for your sister. You show up as a mastermind family. Like, your success is our success. And that's 50 women plus the 3 of us who truly, truly have your back. There really is nothing else out there like this. And I mean, we can't do it alone. Us together, where we're truly dedicated, as if your business is my business, like, that shit is going to change the game.
Yes. So we are so excited to meet our girls. So if this is resonating with you, if you're feeling in your bones, if your spirit guides are whispering to you, come on, let's get on that website. We've been waiting for this moment.
We've been waiting
Then we
for
invite
you
you to head over. Yes, we're waiting for you too, guides. So you will head over to togetherweimpress.com. We have all of the information waiting for you there. We have 2 different options according to wherever you are on your journey. We are really dedicated to supporting women more at the beginning stages of their business and women who are ready to hit that 7-figure this year. We are here for you. So again, head over to Together We Impress. That link is in my show notes. We are getting started super soon. So be sure to apply. You'll hear back from us, and we're super excited to have you. So thank you, Sarah and Jenna, for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
I was twerking during some of it.
Good. We got to get that energy flowing.
So good.
It's going to be a big year for all of us. And I'm so excited to do this together. I mean, it's really rare to see women. So I'm so grateful for both of you. I know both of you are so busy with your own companies and your own everything, brands that you're putting out there. And we are so committed. Like, I wish people could see our text threads. We're like, how can we be more of service? How can we help? And even just in the couple calls we've done with the girls and seeing already how just applying has helped dissolve so many of their limiting beliefs, I'm so excited to see where this year takes us all. So thank you, girls.
I love both of you. I'm so grateful and honored to do this with you and just to have both of you in my life as business partners and sisters. And I love you so much.
It's such a gift. I love you both from the bottom of my heart.
Love you guys too. So much love in the building, and we love you listening. Namaste.
Are you feeling alive? Are you feeling lit up? Are you feeling ready to express your full truth, to use this opportunity as the moment that you will look back on 10 years from now when you are speaking on stage and saying, it all began in 2020 with that pandemic? So if you are ready to make this part of your success story, we invite you to apply over at togetherweimpress.com. I have that link in the show notes. We have different options available for women at different points in their businesses, and we are so excited to welcome you home. So again, head over to togetherweimpress.com, and I'll see you there. If you loved this episode, I would love to send you a free gift, which is the first half of my unreleased book, Eat Right for Your Mind Body Type. This is a different book than Eat Feel Fresh, my first book ever, which is not released anywhere, and I am gifting it exclusively to those who leave a review of my podcast in the iTunes store. So all you got to do is head over to iTunes, where you may be listening to this podcast, and leave a review. Take a screenshot that you've left it and email it over to me at Sahara@eatfeelfresh.com. Again, that's Sahara, Sahara, at eatfeelfresh.com. And I will send you back the first half of my unreleased book, Eat Right for Your Mind Body Type, which goes all into Ayurveda, doshas, plant-based nutrition, body types, all of the things in a really fun and engaging way. So this is my gift to you for free for supporting the podcast. Every single review I personally read. It really helps the podcast be listened to by more people so we can raise the vibration of the planet together. And I am so grateful to have you on this journey. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode. Namaste.